The following sequence of movements is a variation of the Joint Freeze series. These movements will help you to loosen up all the joints in the body. We will loosen the joints, but not only that, we will notice how the joints move, and we'll also notice the muscles that are moving the joints. When practiced regularly, this can help keep the body mobile, keep the joints supple, and allow you to sense the body. And even from that level of sensing, we're bringing the mind present. We're noticing what is happening in our body as we go through the movements. So we're going to just start lying down on the floor. So find yourself a comfortable position. You might put a blanket down, or just be on the carpet, or even rolling out a yoga mat. And just going to take a moment to notice how we're feeling. So as you're lying down, you might either keep the knees bent or maybe straighten the legs if that feels better for you. I'm going to keep the knees bent for the moment. And when you're ready, take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each breath, on the exhale, let all the effort release from the body. Notice areas where you may be holding on, and let all that completely release. And just taking a moment then to scan through your body. So we'll just notice where the feet meet the floor, sensing into the feet and toes and the ankles, sensing into the knees, the lower legs, the upper legs, the hip joints, sensing into the pelvis and abdomen, the lower back, upper back and chest, shoulders and arms, the hands and fingers, and up into the neck, and up into the head and the toes. Paying attention to your breath, allowing the breath to be natural, and breathing through the nose. We're going to start our practice by taking hold of the right knee. So we're just going to hold in front of the knee, or if that's difficult, take hold behind the thigh, behind the knee, or even using just a yoga belt if you had one, or a yoga strap to hold behind your leg, taking hold of the support. We're going to start moving the toe joints. So when you're ready, flex and extend the toes. The right toes. Flex and extend, flex, extend. Trying to keep the foot fairly still for this so we can actually feel the joints moving. You can notice how well you're moving the joints, and also noticing the muscles that might be involved in that movement. Then take it into the ankles. So we're going to dorsiflex, point the toes or the whole foot up towards you, and then plantarflex, point the foot away from you. Just allowing the breath to continue flowing in and out. And then you can try drawing a circle with your foot or with your toes, so like you're drawing a circle with the big toe. And noticing it, is it actually a circle? Is there any jerkiness in that movement? Maybe we're making a more of a square movement or a triangle. And then go the other way. Now from there, keeping the foot lifted, maybe taking the hands away or even holding the belt, you can try straightening the leg, bending the knee. So now we're moving up into the knee joint and just noticing how the knee joint moves, and also trying to be aware of the muscles that are involved in that movement. Okay, and then from there we're going to bring the foot to the floor. We'll just straighten out the left leg And with the right knee, just allowing the right knee to tip to the right. So we get now moving to the hip joint, external rotation, and then to the left, internal rotation. And notice your pelvis will move a little bit with that. So again, a little bit of warming up of the hip joint, also trying to feel the muscles that are involved in that movement. Notice how your foot rolls to the outer edge and the inner edge. And then we're going to lift the foot again and see if we can take the knee around in a circle. It might be quite a small circle to begin with. So it's like you're drawing a circle with your knee above you. And this is getting movement into the hip joint again, but now we're getting what's called circumduction. You can make that movement as small or as big as you need to, and then we go the other way. Always sensing for comfort and steadiness in the body and breath. Now let's allow that leg to relax. Notice any difference between the two legs. And actually they might feel quite different. So you just want to be aware of that. Let the brain absorb the difference that you feel. The difference in the sensations of the right leg compared to the left. Then let's bring the feet to the floor again. We'll do the same thing on the left leg. So working from the toes up to the hips, taking hold of the knee or behind the knee, or using a yoga belt, just flexing and extending the toes. Flex and extend. And here we always want to notice, well, are we just moving the toes or is the whole foot moving? At the moment, we just want to isolate that movement to the toes. Okay, and then once you feel that, once you've done that a few times, you can take it into the ankles. So the toes actually don't move, they move along with the movement of the foot. So you're going to point the foot up and down, plantar flex, dorsiflex. And try and feel what's creating that movement, which muscles are working, because not only are we beginning to keep the joint lubricated and mobile, but we're also, as we notice the muscles that are moving the joint, we're also becoming more aware of the body, more aware of the muscles, and the brain from that will be able to develop better motor control. So the more we can sense the body, the better motor control we have. Now let's circle the foot around. And then you can take it the other way. Okay, again noticing the muscles that are involved in that. Holding the knee or behind the knee, we can then straighten up the leg, so extending and then flexing the knee. Maybe also noticing the muscles that are involved in extending the knees, the thigh muscles. But if you've got a support there holding your leg, the hip flexor should be reasonably relaxed at the front of the hip. Okay, and then bring the foot down. I'm going to straighten out the right leg. Let the left knee tip out to the left. So you get external rotation with abduction, taken away from the center. We bring the knee back to center and then over to the right. We get internal rotation with adduction, ADD, adduction. And here what you want to notice is just how the hip joints feel. So always staying comfortable with that. You will probably notice the pelvis will roll along with that. That's okay. You might even notice how you're rolling over the bottom of the foot to the outer edge, to the inner edge. Okay, and then let's lift the foot and we'll see if we can take the knee around in a circle. And always stay comfortable with this. So if that wasn't comfortable, you might even bring the hand to the knee and just use your hand to guide the knee in a circle. It's always important to adapt the practice if you need to. Okay, and then we straighten out the leg and we see how that feels. Good, so we've worked from toes to ankles to knees to hips. So now let's move to the spine. So from there we're going to roll over to one side and we're going to push ourselves up. And coming over onto the hands and knees. So when you're ready, we're going to find a comfortable support from the through the wrists, through the knees, and making sure that the hands are comfortable with this. We can always walk the hands a bit further forward. So we're going to work with flexion and extension of the spine. So now moving up to the spinal joints. So we can start by drawing the navel in and up as we tuck the tailbone. We look down towards the belly so the whole spine flexes. And then we lift the tailbone, we let the belly release. And we take the gaze forward and we move into extension. So flexion. Really trying to feel the whole spine getting involved with this. And extension. Trying to notice again the feeling of the movement in the joints, the vertebral joints. And sensing the muscles that might be involved in this. Might be a little bit harder to sense here. But keeping it easy, keeping it gentle. Keep the breath flowing. You might find that your breath is inhaling as the tailbone lifts, chest lifts, and exhaling as your navel draws in and up and the tailbone tucks and the chin comes in. And even if it's going the other way, that's okay. It'll just be a slightly different experience. Okay, and then once you've done that, we're going to come up to standing. So we'll transition up to standing now. Okay, so now we're up to standing. We've worked from the toes to the ankles, to the knees, to the hips, and we've had some movement of the spine. So now we're going to focus on some more movement of the spine. So in the spine there's 4 movements. We had flexion and extension. Now we're going to focus on a little bit of side bending or lateral flexion. Very simple. We're going to take the feet a little bit wider. Arms can just be down by the side. And in this position, you're just going to allow your right hand to slide down the leg. But as you do that, your right ear comes towards the shoulder. So we're getting into the neck as well. And we're trying to move as though we've got our back against the wall, keeping it a side bend. And then we come back up. And we can go to the other side, left ear towards left shoulder as the left hand slides down the leg. And just notice how far you go without bringing it into a rotation. So we're not letting the chest or the pelvis turn with this. Now we move into lateral flexion or side bending. Go in your own time. Notice what your breath wants to do. Make sure you are still breathing. You might find you're exhaling as you lower the hand down, moving into the side bend, and inhaling, coming back to center. And if it's not working like that, it doesn't matter as long as we're not holding the breath. One more time each way. Okay, and then coming back to center. Good, so that's side bending. Now we'll go into rotation, so the 4th movement of the spine. And with this movement, we can start with the arms wide. We're taking a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to look round to your right. So as you look round, you can just let the arms wrap around the waist. And everything will turn here, the head, the chest, the pelvis will turn a little bit and you come back to center. You might inhale as you come to center and exhale as you turn. Inhale to center. Go in your own time. Go with your breath. Be fluid in your movements. Let's try that one more time each side. Good, and then we come back to center. We'll bring the feet in a little bit closer. So there's the spinal movements, including the neck there. So now we'll move to the shoulders and then down to the elbows, wrists and fingers. So with the shoulders, we're just letting the arms hang down by the side. And we're going to slowly draw both shoulders up towards the ears. Maybe tipping the head back slightly, feel that squeeze at the top of the shoulders. And then release. And then allow the shoulders to draw downwards a little bit as though you're reaching your hands into your pockets. And then coming back up. And then release and drawing the shoulders down and up. Elevating the scapula or the shoulder blade and then depressing the shoulder blade. And it might link with the breath. You might find you're inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you lower. Okay, and then come back to the central position. So now let's take the shoulders forward and back. Maybe I'll show you from the side here. So first of all, just keeping the arms hanging, we're going to draw both shoulders forward. Maybe you can notice the chest muscles contracting there, and then they release, and as you draw the shoulders back, the muscles between the shoulder blades contract, the rhomboids, and then you release, and forward again, pectoral muscles, and release, and back. So you're just going forward and back. So that's moving the whole shoulder girdle, So that's your shoulder blade, collarbone, arm bone. Now if we want to add something to that to focus on rotation of the humerus or the arm bone in the acetabulum or the glenoid cavity, the shoulder socket, we can start to do that shoulder movement with arm rolling movements as well. So as your shoulders roll forward or draw forward, the arms roll inwards. Internal rotation. As your shoulders draw back, the arms roll outwards. External rotation. You might even find that your spine wants to join in with this. So as the shoulders come forward, the knees bend a little bit, the tailbone tucks, the spine rounds. As the shoulders draw back, arms roll out, knees will straighten, chest lifts. So even though we're kind of focusing on the shoulders, you might find the rest of the body will want to get involved a little bit. Okay, and then from there coming back to the center, and then we can try joining those movements together, up and down, forward and back, by taking the shoulders around in a circle, forward and up, back and down, forward and up, back and down. You might go with your breath. See how that feels. Stay comfortable. And go the other way. Stay completely comfortable in your movements. Okay, and then one more here. We can take the arms wide, fingertips to the shoulders. We're going to just circle the shoulders round. So you might inhale as the elbows come wider, exhale as the elbows come in towards each other. And then reverse it. Okay, good. And then from there, just moving to the fingers and wrists. So we'll bend the elbows, have the elbows in by the side. We're going to just straighten out the fingers and then make fists. You can inhale and exhale. If you want to link it with the breath. Sometimes we might find linking movements with the breath is a bit tricky for us. So there's no rules there. If you find it, you can't coordinate movement with the breath, it's okay. Just breathe and just move. So now we can take the hands up, so we are extending at the wrists, and then down as we flex the wrists. You're flexing the wrists as the hand points down and then extending as the hands point up. And again, noticing the joint movement but feeling the muscles that are involved. The wrist extensors, the wrist flexors. And then hands parallel to the floor. Let's take the fingers from side to side so we get this side bending movement in the wrists. And then we might make fists and circle the fists around. And then go the other way. And then not forgetting the elbows, arms out in front. Inhale, and as you exhale, just touching the shoulders. Good. And bring the arms down. So we've already worked with the neck in the spinal movements. So that's the practice. Maybe to finish, you might like to take your feet a little bit wider and just let the arms be really floppy as you turn around from side to side. Back heel will lift. You get a nice loosening of the spine. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. And if that makes you feel dizzy doing that, you might just keep the gaze forward. So that was a variation of the joint freeing series. I hope it helps you. If you are interested, do look on my website, sunmoonyoga.co.uk. There are classes, online classes that are available. There's also on-demand videos of classes that are available for you to watch. So thanks for watching.